So have you guys ever braised something before? It's really easy. It takes a little bit of time, but not a lot of work. I'll show you how it's done. This is a bison short rib from Grand North Bison, and it's my first time ever cooking bison short ribs. I've done steaks before and burgers and stuff like that, but never a short rib. Whenever you're braising, you're just using liquid at low temperatures and a bit of time. The work's all up front, and you just have to kind of wait till it's ready. So here I'm dredging the short ribs in some flour. We have a pot going, a little olive oil, and we're going to sear. Searing is all about developing flavors. We're going to go in with just some salt and pepper, and we're going to brown all sides. Now, to this pot, we're going to add some celery, carrots, and onions. But first, we're going to remove the meat. And you just want to saute your celery, carrot, and onion until they're soft. And you want to also season these with a little salt and pepper as well. Go ahead, put your meat back in the pot after the vegetables are cooked down a bit. And this is time to deglaze. I'm going to use red wine. I think I used a Merlot here. You could use a beer. You could use white wine. Time for a little flambe. Be careful. So on the stove, I also have some broth going. You're going to need this for the braising liquid. I'm also going to make some gravy. Now you can cheat and get a pack, a package and pre-made. That's fine. But I'll show you how to make a really quick velouté. So that was a saute pan, equal parts butter, flour, and I think I went a little bit heavier on the flour because I wanted it to be a little bit thicker. You're going to cook the flour and butter in the frying pan. It'll start to bead or pull apart, and this takes a few minutes. When that happens, you add some stock, and you whisk it all together. You might get some clumps, but a fine mesh strainer will make you look awesome. Because look at that, it's perfect. So, and I have turkey stock for this particular dish. Use chicken, use beef, use vegetable. It's all preference. So back to our pot of short ribs, I'm going to add some passata. That's just a prepared pureed tomato product. You can find at any grocery store. You can use a crushed tomato. You can use whole plum tomato in the can. You can even dice up a few tomatoes and throw it in. We're also going to top with the velouté and more stock, just until you kind of cover the meat. You don't want to bury the meat. We're not making a soup. We're trying to make kind of a stew. I added some rosemary, some bay leaves, and some turned carrots to this, as well as some peppercorns. And we're just going to let it cook. There's no specific time here. I kind of check in on it after about an hour, and then every half hour, until the meat and the bone easily separate. You could just touch the meat with a spoon, and you'll feel how tender it is. And you'll also feel how tough it is when it's not ready. So I prepared a gremolata for this dish. This is an ossobuco technique. I just thought it would go really well with the bison. It's just grated or chopped garlic, zest of citrus. I had a lemon and an orange. And you place it in, and it's done. This dish is finished. To accompany the dish, I thought risotto would be the best accompaniment. Very simple. Chopped onion, oil, add the rice to the pan, we toast everything together, and we deglaze with white wine. And risotto is very, very simple. Again, you need a little bit of patience. And this one you can't really just walk away from. You have to add some broth, a couple ladles at a time, stir. When it evaporates, you add more. And you keep doing this until the risotto is to your liking. I like my risotto a little al dente. And if you like yours a little bit more done, you add a little more broth, and and get it to where you like it. So when this is done where you'd like it, we're gonna add some butter and some freshly grated cheese. I use Parmesan cheese, and I say freshly grated because the cheese, when it's pre-ground, it inherently loses moisture. It loses its creaminess and its flavor. So just buy a wedge and grate it in freshly. It makes a huge difference. I also let the rice sit in the pan for a few minutes, heat off, and let it come together on its own. And you'll get this, a really creamy, peaky risotto. There's no water running off it. The grain is holding all the flavor, all the cheese and the oils and the onions. It's not overdone. I like to put a little well in my risotto whenever I'm plating a dish like this, and I'll put the meat right in the center. This dish turned out so well. The meat was tender. It was fall off the bone delicious. The sauce was savory and rich, but it wasn't heavy. It was really nice on a cold winter day. The braising technique, it just works. I dug into this dish thinking I'd have a couple bites and I'd save the rest for later. But I ate the whole thing. It was fantastic. I don't even think I was hungry when I made this video. You guys really need to try. You guys gotta try this. Braise something.